Welcome to Under the Mango Tree. This is episode 5 of the series with Kabal. This series really focuses on what it is to be a Twitch content creator. Today we're going to have a very short exception for that because Kabal also does YouTube. And we really want to know everything behind the streamer. Who is Kabal off stream? Who is Kabal on stream? What is the creative process, and what Kabal thinks maybe Twitch or YouTube or both can do to improve their platforms. So yeah, we start with you, Kabal. How are you today? What's your day been like?
I'm good. I mean, I just straight up just did DoorDash for 3 hours, took a shower the other hour, and now I'm here. That's pretty much the majority of my day so far.
DoorDashing, do you do that for like full time, a living?
I guess like some days full time, sometimes part time. A year ago, I recently left my job at Kroger. I was a floors supervisor. The reason why I left is because one, I was getting paid $11 an hour, and as a supervisor, by the way.
Oh wow.
And I was dedicating pretty much the majority of my life for a small amount of income. So I needed to change that. It took me away from YouTube and Twitch. And a lot of people told me that like I show a lot more passion in there than I do at work. They see like potential in that. Like I was getting like management, coworkers, so many people looking at my stuff because I was never afraid to like advertise my stuff. So I showed it to them and they saw a lot of potential in that. So that's what really encouraged me to leave that job and just go strictly DoorDash and to make more than that than Kroger has ever has.
Right. So as me, I'm not American, so I don't actually know what Kroger is.
It's a grocery store.
A grocery store, okay. But yeah, I need the dollar to pound conversion. That is very minimal for a supervisor position.
Mm-hmm.
What did you feel in those moments? Did you feel that was like weighing you down, draining you?
Yes, but I had to make money because when you're growing up, as you get older, you need income. You need a sustainable income so that you can actually live and do whatever you need to do. So I just made the most of it, but made sacrifices of my time without Twitch and YouTube. So they'll go like days and months where I didn't focus on Twitch or YouTube. But at the time, I was focused more on YouTube, even though when I joined the grocery store, I became one of the first Twitch affiliates because it came out in 2017. So I had the Twitch affiliate status, but I hated streaming at that time. So I didn't really focus on Twitch. I focused more on uploading YouTube videos, and I was doing well on the YouTube streaming side. But it all changed ever since the pandemic because I was the supervisor during the pandemic time. So I had to deal with all the crazy customers. I had to deal with all the items getting off of the shelves. And for a lot of people, they said, well, they started their channels off the pandemic. I could not even upload and create content during the pandemic because I was considered a necessity because I was a grocery store worker.
Right.
So I never got to get into the hype of everyone staying home, checking out videos and streams and all that. So while people were flourishing, I was stuck at a grocery store working. At that point, they raised up the price to 12 an hour, and I was making 10 an hour at the time. So even then, like I was still somewhat struggling.
Even as a, what's it called? We had a specific title for those type of workers here in the UK. Like,
is it like a shift lead?
No, during the pandemic, there was like the people who had to work to keep society functioning. They had a specific name. I forgot the name now.
I'm trying to think of the name because it's not necessity. It's
I think it's critical worker or something like that.
Similar to that. I don't think it's the exact.
So that's what that was your experience, and I think, yeah, I myself during the pandemic, that's when I started streaming. Like I rode the wave of, okay, everyone's doing content creation now because there's nothing else to do. But you got the opposite end of the stick there.
Yeah, I've been content creating for a lot of people. You guys might think this is crazy, and it's still crazy for some people. I started content creating in 2014. So I've been streaming since January 3rd of 2014. I started streaming and content creation at the age of 15 because I saw what other creators were doing, and I was also more hyped whenever I saw FaZe Clan at the time, then Sidemen, and then other content creators at the time, mostly in the Call of Duty space. Like I wanted to be the young person to be successful on YouTube. But then I learned that like it takes a lot of work actually. So I was actually balancing high school and YouTube and content creation. But in my first year, I grew my first 700 subscribers. Didn't hit 1K or 1,000 subscribers until like around 2016. It would have been the beginning of my senior year, but I graduated in 2016. So probably 2015, I want to believe. And then rode the wave from there. So I've always been a content creator, even like before like all this affiliate stuff that people make a goal of becoming an affiliate, which to me that's kind of silly, and I guess you can call me selfish because I joined YouTube whenever they offered the YouTube partner program to everybody, and the only goal on Twitch was to become a partner. That was the only goal. There was no road to affiliate or anything like that. When you became a partner, you were literally the celebrity on Twitch. Now it seems like anyone could be a partner and an affiliate at that point.
Do you feel you've been skamazed? You've been had in a way?
I wouldn't say had, but like I know I've been grinding, but I also focused more of outside of YouTube and Twitch when I could have done my full like potential, like focus all on this, but I had to make sacrifices so that I could live, so that I can live. I mean, I'm still living with my parents,
right?
So I'm not really like good. I mean, I'm good on income. Like I can at least live comfortably, but I'm not in the ideal living where I live in an apartment, I pay those bills and all that. And I mean, I have a working car, I have a roof over my head. I'm at least able to eat, but not properly as like a independent adult, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Did you think you would be able to do those things back when you were 15, starting out? That you would have.
What do you mean?
You could one day make enough money to have an apartment, a nice car, and like all these things by yourself?
I wanted to. I think I put a very fictionalized idea in my head that I could be successful at a young age because there was other people that were doing it. But the problem was compared to my videos back then and compared to my videos now, I'm a better editor. I'm a better like funny guy now. Like I can actually make people laugh like just without even trying. Back then I was just this awkward kid that didn't really know what to do with his life because I went from wanting to be a music producer to cooking, which I still don't know how to cook to this day, and to even like a movie director. So like I went through so much, but it was in the same exact field. So when I started looking at YouTube, it's like this is what I want to do, but I want to be successful in high school. So yeah, I guess to answer your question, yes, I would love to have had my own money at 18 years old, but now 24 years old, still living with your parents, I now look at myself just like I had such high standards, but I was making low quality videos and thought that that was going to make me like the big bucks and all the fame and stuff like that. So it definitely was the root of it was to be successful. I definitely want to be successful, but now I just want to entertain people now.
So at the time you wanted to be successful, what kind of content were you creating then?
I was creating Call of Duty content, so I was actually very big in the sniper genre. So like cut commentaries, 360 no scopes, five on shots. If you don't understand what the lingo is, basically killing 5 people at the same time in Call of Duty. 360 no scopes, you spin around, don't even like scope in, you shoot in. So I was doing well there, and then eventually I decided, you know what, I suck at sniping. I'm not going to do well on Call of Duty, and I don't think that's my future. So I went into indie games, so like the Markiplier, Jacksepticeye route, but no one liked that until in 2017 I actually uploaded Injustice 2 content, which is basically DC comic fighting game, and I'm a comic nerd, so like I absolutely love the game, and that's where I got the majority of my viewers from, was from Injustice 2. So I finally got my channel up to 2,000 subscribers at the time because I was doing YouTube streaming, and it was doing very well until like, well, the game started to die, all the characters have been released, and then 2018 was I was working, so I decided not to focus on the content and focus more on making money. And then in 2019, Mortal Kombat 11 came out, focused on that game. Did really well in terms of the streaming. Even went back to Twitch and got my first raid of basically 1.5K. So I know what it's like to have a big giant chat, and it's actually I learned that it is so much fun to have a rolling chat. Some people say like it's hard to read every single comment because they feel bad. I think the viewers will understand when you look at the chat and it's like going like really fast, and I'll skim through it, but it's actually really fun. So that's when I know that like if I do become successful at a later date, I will have fun with the scrolling chat.
Yeah.
And then now we're in the content right now, which I'm now a Twitch streamer. I haven't been doing that much YouTube lately, actually.
Oh, interesting. What kind of content have you been focusing on this year?
I guess right now, like I've been doing a lot more music content. So what I've been showing off is I'm a really big fan of underrated music. So what I mean by that is that not the popular music that you would hear on like on the Billboard Hot 100s and stuff like that. I'm talking about like artists that not a lot of people know about. And I've been basically advertising every stream like a new artist with their new song that recently came out. And I'll do something called like Guess That Track every Friday where people are actually guessing the music based on what they're hearing. And they pick the genre, I pick the year. And then another one I've been doing is a song competition. So a lot of people put their own music head to head with other people in the community. And it's because I just love advertising music. So that's the content that I've been focusing on. And then like my other days, which is Monday and Tuesday, it's kind of been just random. I think my viewers tend to love the random content because I pretty much do whatever I want, whether it's gaming, whether it's reacting to stuff, or just like talking months in the chat, and they love being silly in there while also being silly in the Discord, and I'll sometimes show what they're doing on the Discord servers. So that's pretty much the content I've been doing. Nothing really content focused, like making like certain types of events and stuff. But I'm also like focused more on growth too, because I'm like growing on Twitch. So I guess music and random content, but I'm still growing at the same time, if that makes sense.
No, yeah, that makes sense. Do you think you'll keep doing that for now?
Right now, for now, yes. I know for Twitch, it's going to be a little bit hard because I had that same exact problem on YouTube with copyrights and stuff. I would advertise artists that would be very underrated. Like, I am actually really good friends with a music artist. His name is Jaleel, and he's been blowing up on TikTok lately. He just had a song called "Dive In" that just recently blowed up, and now he's releasing music, and he's I think almost at 2 million monthly listeners on Spotify. And it's hard to advertise him because he recently just got signed to a record label. So anytime I want to advertise him on YouTube, I either sometimes it's just the music video that gets copyrighted. So at that point, I have to get rid of the music video, but I can add the song, and then I had to add a certain length of the song that I can show off. It does get harder and harder to advertise it on YouTube, so that's why I moved to Twitch, and even then Twitch is now implementing the copyright stuff. So hopefully I could do it for as long as I can, but if it starts to where I'm getting in a lot of trouble for advertising artists that no one knows about and music that deserves to be out there, then I don't know what to do.
Right, it's strange they take the DMCA so seriously now.
It does, and I understand completely. They want to make their money. Like every time someone else shows their music, they're not making money, and I completely get that. But at the same time, you're literally not advertising these artists very well, just because like other artists will make money, but these artists are like they have to literally result on TikTok for them to blow up.
So you've been you said 2015? Was it 2014 or 2015 you started?
I've been doing this since 2014.
So that's 8 years. That's quite a long time. What do you think you've learned during this whole journey of content creation? What is like your biggest takeaway from all that?
It does take a lot of work to actually get to a certain point of time. For some people, they can do it in about a year. Some people, it may take them 10 years. It just depends on the content. If you're there at the right, right place at the right time, but also appreciating the people who do support you. Because at the end of the day, and not a lot of content creators realize this, your community is actually what makes you the content creator. So I'm not saying I didn't abuse the viewers back then, but I also learned a lot of self-growth in my side because I would always feel bad about not uploading on certain times, not being dedicated to the content. Later on, you'll realize the viewers just want content. They don't care when they'll get the content and where they'll get the content. If they love you and appreciate you, then once you upload, they will watch you.
Yeah.
So like that's the one takeaway because I always would beat myself up when I don't upload consistently, or I keep saying like, oh, I'm uploading daily or every other day or Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But now when I upload a video, it does very well and the viewers do love it. So like, yeah, so I did a lot of self-growth. I did a lot of appreciation and confidence in myself in terms of what I produce. And I think it made me a better person because like now when I meet friends, the change from what I used to be in high school to like now is like night and day. People see me as like a very much better person than what I used to be.
Well, what kind of person did you used to be?
Well, I was awkward. Some people would consider selfish, which I didn't understand at that point. I guess I didn't have that much common sense.
Okay.
And I guess I would also easily offend people, which I didn't understand at that point. So once I learned those problems and implemented that with content creation and also confidence too, because I wasn't really confident in myself either. For a lot of people that's been watching me, I didn't pronounce words properly. I was very skinny. I was not really eating properly. So like, I wouldn't say that I was in a weird sort of depressive state, but I definitely was not really taking care of myself very well because what I was more focused on is, can I be successful on here? I need to make some sort of income so I can actually live off this. I was focusing more on other things than my actual self, my physical, my mental, my own well-being and everything like that. And viewers saw that too. When I show them me now than what I used to be, they actually feel really bad for me. So,
Aw.
and they're actually glad that I'm actually in a better position than what I used to be.
Oh, that's heartwarming to have an audience that's like, oh, you need to look after yourself, please. Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say mispronounce words. I couldn't pronunciate words. Like my pronunciation right now is so much better than what it used to be. I would like slur my words.
Like a speech impediment almost.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's fine. I think.
And also, I was never this talkative. Like now, I think ever since I became a floor supervisor back then, I'm now much more talkative. I never used to be that way. I would give like a couple word responses.
Yeah. I can relate to that. I used to be like that as well.
I think streaming has an effect though. The streaming makes it a little bit more better because you have to actually speak in front of a camera and say your words properly.
And sometimes you talk to no one.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's no one there and you're just talking. So let's go back to. I'm really curious about the old you because it's strange to think that it wasn't that long ago you were just a teenager.
Yeah, when I tell them I have like streamed for such a long time, they're wondering just like, when did you start? And it's like, I started as a 15. It's like, wait, you're telling me you did not hang out with friends, have fun, did any of that? I did do that. I have vlogs out there that shows me that I did that. But I guess what a lot of people are surprised is that I think we were raised to understand you're supposed to have fun in your 20s and you don't take life seriously until you get into your 30s. I've never understood that at all. I thought like what I was, and my dad didn't teach me about this. I lived to understood that there are people like at the time my age that were becoming very successful. And I know people who are from my town that became successful at like my brother's age, and he's like 21 right now. So I'm like, there are people who start early to become successful, and I'm still in my 20s too. So I have a long ways away before I become 30. So I guess like I just don't follow the norms. I just want to actually become successful at somewhat of a younger age. But I mean, I also still want to have fun at the same time because, I am young. I do want to be like having fun at every point, every step of the way. But sometimes I have to take it like very seriously because I also got to remember I am an adult. I will say at some points, I do act like a very young person. I don't know if it's because like of streaming or anything, but I do sometimes will act like a teenager in a 24-year-old's body because I don't look like an adult. I look very young as a young adult.
Yeah, yeah, you do. And you said that previously we were talking about you working and streaming at the same time, and that you weren't shy about letting people know that you do stream.
Right. I did that at high school as well as in at work too.
And what was the general reaction you had from people that you told?
Um, Honestly, it wasn't really that negative. I mean, some people saw me as just a YouTube dude. Some people saw me as like a dude who knows what he's somewhat doing. Some people liked the content, some people didn't at the time. And it wasn't badly received, although it was Call of Duty content. Even one time where I was in audio and video class. My teacher almost advertised my YouTube channel, but decided not to because I was playing Call of Duty, and at the time, school shootings were happening. So they couldn't advertise it because of the fact that it was, I guess, in a way promoting it, which I didn't understand at that point. But there were people that were happy that I actually knew what I wanted to do, which was content creation. And at the time, a lot of people didn't really see content creation as an avenue of a career. So I guess I was amongst the first people to like see it as a career until all of a sudden everyone sees it now as a full-blown career because of all the money and publicity that people can do.
Right, and you've got all these top names that made it seem like the dream, like that's the next dream, to be the best content creator. Yeah.
Exactly.
What do you think makes a successful content creator?
See, there's different definitions on that because we have content creators that are influencers that actually influence the youth. Then you just have content creator just to be a content creator. Then you have toxic content creators. Like you could be very successful but also be very toxic at the same time. So there's different definitions, but I guess like influence would be the one thing. Like what do more people relate to? That's why I think Mr. Beast is very successful because he went from nothing and now is like a very successful philanthropist. Like he helps a lot of people at that point. But then we get someone like I Show Speed, which became very successful off of toxicity, and people love to see him like go crazy and psychotic, and for a lot of people would turn people off. But he's very successful and is growing at a rapid pace. In fact, even arguably one of the most fast-growing YouTubers of all time. So I don't know like what makes someone a content creator, but I guess like if you could bring that entertainment to an audience that knows that will love it, then I guess that's the content creator. It has all types of forms.
What about for you? What would success look like for you on your channels?
On my channels, I mean, I would love to do a vlog series really soon. So I guess like the freedom to just do whatever I want to do, because now I have to do Twitch and DoorDash. If I don't have to work a day in my life, which for a lot of people that sounds very crazy, but like if I could just get paid from YouTube and Twitch, I think that's one thing that would make me happy, and also have the freedom to create. So actually get back into making videos again, throwing them out there and see if people do like it or not, or stream whenever I want to, since now I have a fan base that they want me to stream every day, but I have to keep reminding them, it's like, you do realize like I don't make money from this. I'm sorry. Like if I'm wealthy, and I don't want to sound like that, like I wish I could do this for money or anything like that, but like at the same time, like if I have the freedom to create, I think that's the best way. Like I don't care really much about like high status and fame. If I just had the freedom to create whenever I want to at any point in time, like I could just wake up and just be like, I don't have to report to a job. I don't have to like fight to pay this off. I don't have to like do anything. I just wake up, grab my camera, see what goes on in life, and either or do another video idea, or maybe do it like a small stream. I think that's the true beauty that I wish that I could have. The freedom to just, oh my God, I don't have to work anymore.
Yeah. I think a lot of us as streamers want that as well. Yeah, for some people it is a job. For some people it's just for fun. It really just depends on the person and what you want your channel to be. But I think there's a huge difference between achieving those goals on YouTube versus Twitch.
Yes, I do understand that. Like the affiliate thing, for example, people see affiliate status as a very much something that they wish to strive for. In all actuality, once you become an affiliate, you just get paid from Twitch. You just get channel points and emotes. There's not really an accomplishment. And even then, like, partner is not really an achievement either. You just you get more emote slots. You now get more recognized on Twitch, I guess. But like, you'll still like get the same thing. And in fact, they're thinking about taking away the 30-70 split, and they're going to make it 50-50. So it's not really like a huge change either. But it's also the same thing for like YouTube. I mean, with YouTube, you also get the option to get paid from YouTube as well. You can now live stream on YouTube, and the criteria is not really that bad. You just need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch time. So like, it's not even like that big of a deal either. So when I see people like going for achievements, I wonder why. Because what will happen after you hit those achievements? Are you saying you're set, you're done, you don't really have any much more impact to give? And to me, I rather appreciate impact and what I can do for people. So if I can entertain like 100,000 people and not get, I guess, not make that much money, I think that's much more valuable. Because at the same time, and if you want to think it as a selfish perspective, if you can get those 100,000 people and you can get more people from that, the money will come in anyways. So when I see people focus on money, and I might call myself a hypocrite because I've been talking about money, but I guess if you truly focus on streaming as a business and money, potentially you may drive yourself crazy.
Yes.
So you gotta find balance at that point. So you want to make money from Twitch, but you also got to realize it may take a while for you to even achieve the financial success. So now you got to make a better goal to eventually get this goal.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Right. Yeah, I think it took me a good almost 6 months to start getting subs from Twitch. It's not an easy game, especially if it really depends on your personality as well. A lot of people naturally gravitate to really extroverted and like chaotic people. It's just fun to watch them, isn't it? So
very.
It really depends. How would you describe yourself on your stream?
Well, I will say I guess some people see me as extroverted, but I'm really much an introverted. Like, I don't get out of my house often. So all I do is just DoorDash. I meet a couple people, drive, come back home, and then I'm streaming, and then I'm talking to all the viewers. So I guess for some people, they think I'm an extroverted introverted, but I don't really see myself as someone that talks to a lot of people often. At least not anymore, ever since I left working at the grocery store, because I used to talk to so many different people. And now, like, I feel more isolated than I've ever have been ever since I left a year ago.
Do you feel comfortable there?
I'm sorry, what?
Do you feel comfortable being at home?
I do feel very comfortable. I don't feel like I need to do anything else at that point. So I'm just here, and I have whatever I need to do. Like, I have my workstation, I have a room, I have the privacy, because my desk setup used to be downstairs. Yeah, and that's why a lot of my content wasn't really booming. And I feel like my content's gotten a lot better upstairs. So I feel much more comfortable in my room than I do outside. And like, I even feel weird vlogging. Like, I'll like vlog, but I'm by myself. If I'm with friends, I can record them and they're the content.
Right. You have a lot of, like, I've been watching your content and I've gone back and researched a bit about what you do on Twitch and YouTube. I think something that is very difficult is to know when someone becomes your almost kind of like your friend. There's someone who's regularly coming to your chat, they want to get to know you. How do you make that distinction between someone who's actually wants to be a friend and someone who's just here for a good time?
You're talking about like the viewer to content creation relationship?
Yeah.
So that one can be a little bit difficult because I do sometimes get those questions of when you become big, will you forget about us? And it's a very difficult question to answer because like they know I want to be a successful content creator and I've experienced the big chat, and eventually it could potentially get to a point to where like maybe I might not remember the day one people. And I think every creator goes through this. Even music artists, I might go through that with my music friend Jaleel, because he's blowing up right now. I mean, I'm glad that he's still friends with me and knows that I've been listening to him for quite some time now. But I wonder, in terms of like content creation, there's a lot of people that have been watching you for years, and then you all of a sudden you start exploding and they don't just get remembered anymore. And I've had viewers back then that stopped watching me because I was getting big. And at the time, I didn't know that there were viewers that were like that. That they rather talk to small creators and they want to have that certain type of relationship. So it is definitely very weird. So what I would tell viewers is that, like, if I do become something, just always remember that you are one of the day ones. Just always remember that. And just hope for the best that I don't forget you. Because remembering 10 people versus remembering thousands of people is highly impossible. There's so much the brain can memorize. Like, your brain still has to memorize your actual IRL friends and your family and all that. So imagining your brain going into hyperdrive mode, remembering every single viewer, subscriber, person that has ever have watched you. Now, quite frankly, I do have a very good memory, and I think a lot of people do appreciate that. But it's going to get to a point to where, like, I cannot remember 100,000 people at once. The brain cannot do that. I think the brain can only remember up to 2,000 people, I want to say. I don't know if that's true. I don't know. No one quote me on that. But I think 2,000 people is the limit.
I'm not an expert. Don't quote me, please. Yeah, I think the parasocial experience is very strange, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had viewers who come in and, like, they love what you do, or they talk to you about other streamers that they love as well, that you probably love as well, and say, I want to do this.
You want to become a content creator?
Yeah. What do you say to them?
Oh yeah, I've had my fair share, like YouTubers, streamers, and all I said is good luck, because if you hopefully the person's going into the situation correctly, because if they do see it as fun, by all means continue on streaming and then hope for the best. But if you do want to make a career out of this, hopefully they're in for a rude awakening, because like once they start and hit their first 50 followers to get to the affiliate status, at that point you're now wanting to grind for partner, you're now wanting to be obsessed with getting more viewers and all that, and actually making like a name for yourself. Like I'm glad that I've actually have made a name for myself in certain areas and aspects of either from YouTube or from Twitch or from TikTok, Instagram, and had my fair shares of successes. But it does take a lot of work, and personality is also part of that equation too. So if they're not really messing with your personality, then why do they want to watch you? Is it the game that you're playing? Is it the content that you're doing? And even then, if one of those reasons is in fact true, what's going to happen whenever you stop playing that game or stop doing the content that they do? You think they're going to stay? Do you think they're going to continue on watching you? And what's even worse is that, like, they might not unfollow you. So you're going to have like that extra inactive viewer for no reason. And I have a lot of that. I have that on YouTube and Twitch. So, and every streamer has that, too. So it's actually very complicated whenever someone becomes a creator. But I don't say no to it. I let them do whatever they want. We'll let them figure out if streaming and content creation is something that they truly want to do, or if it's not. That's all on them. I can't encourage them to say yes or no or anything like that. I'm not them. They have to learn themselves.
Right. All you can do is just wish them well and like give them a nice kick in the ass and like off you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good luck, my child.
Yeah.
I can't imagine you saying, "Good luck, my child."
Good luck, my child.
Yeah, I think, gosh, content creation is such a mixed bag. But if let's say you get to a position where you get to decide things for the platform, be it Twitch, be it YouTube, it doesn't matter. What's something that you would implement? What's something that you would change, take away?
Well, I know for YouTube, copyright. They go crazy. In fact, their copyright system is so broken. I'm looking at my copyright stuff, and there's some reasons why I get copyright claims. Like, okay, I played a music. Okay, big whoop to do. I'll worry about that later. But it also looks like, okay, so I played a game called Marvel's Avengers, and it looks like I can copyright them because I played Marvel's Avengers, and that could be considered my content. That's how broken it is. So I can claim somebody that is not my content, and that is scary. So imagine like someone's content just claiming the whole entire game when it's not your content, and you're not the owner of that game either. And that's what Bungie went through. They some dude random copyrighted their music, their gameplay, and Bungie could not get any help from YouTube, to the point where like Bungie actually sued YouTube and also sued the dude too, and he had to pay like a $2 million fine. It was like something crazy like that. So definitely the copyright system, because it's crazy. Like, it shouldn't be that complicated. At least Twitch, they're a little bit lenient, and thankfully OBS has like a feature to where you can like mute your VODs, because all they're worried about is their VODs. So I'm glad they do that. But on Twitch, I mean, I could say discoverability, but at the end of the day, like, I don't know how I would change their discoverability. I guess like, because I've been hearing new features about like you can have streamers guest appearing on your stream really soon, which I think that's a very interesting thing. If it gives them the link to their stream, then that's a good way to like advertise your stream. But in terms of I guess on the Twitch platform, I honestly have no idea, other than I guess just better discoverability instead of just relying on other social medias to come to your live stream platform.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point to make. We shouldn't have to rely on other platforms, but I don't know, TikTok, YouTube, Hover, to get viewership on Twitch. Which is
another thing too, Twitch has exclusivity. So once you sign the Twitch agreement, the Twitch affiliate agreement, you actually are owned by Twitch. And there was a leak around to where like Twitch will have non-exclusivity anymore, which usually means like if you're live streaming on Twitch, you cannot live stream on YouTube of the same content that you're live streaming on Twitch. So you could not restream ever. And I didn't really like that because at the time I wanted to show off my stuff on YouTube so I can grow on YouTube and then show my stuff up on Twitch too, so I can grow both at the same time. And when you become a Twitch affiliate, you're not supposed to do that. So I would love for them to not have exclusivity.
Yes.
Unless you are like one of the biggest streamers out there. Because I don't really think that Twitch should own smaller streamers, because they don't really have a name for themselves. So why do you want to profit off of just this person randomly streaming on Twitch because they're an affiliate? And I guess it's because so they can find the next best person on Twitch, but eventually they're not going to like stream on Twitch anymore, or like maybe they don't want to stream on Twitch anymore, they want to switch to YouTube. Like, I would not want to be exclusive just for Twitch, especially since I do content on YouTube.
Yeah, especially you do both.
Mhm.
Exclusivity rights. I think it's 1 day afterwards you can.
Yeah, after the 24 hours, you can actually, after the 24 hours, you can show the content that you did on Twitch on YouTube.
Yeah. One Twitch thing to change and one YouTube thing to change. I wasn't aware of the YouTube stuff. How broken the copyright strike.
It's really broken. And also, once you get that copyright claim or strike, which is worse, if you get a claim, your whole video gets demonetized, especially if you use 10 seconds of a song. The only way to get it off is to delete that part or just demonetize the whole entire video. So I have so many demonetized streams and videos. And even if you do play copyright music on YouTube, that's why I kind of like Twitch a little bit, because it does not take down your stream. If you play it for a certain amount of time, you'll either get your stream taken down or get a community guideline strike. And if you get enough, if you get 3 strikes, your channel is terminated.
Yeah.
Your first strike, you cannot upload for a week, but your second strike, you can either first or second, you cannot live stream on YouTube for 3 months.
3 months.
So you're basically temporarily banned.
Gosh.
So people think Twitch is harsh. No, YouTube is brutal. All because I decided to play one song from like Machine Gun Kelly, and they hated it.
Gosh. Wow.
Yeah, no, YouTube
like,
is much more brutal.
Whatever they make in advertising, just take it from songs. Like work around and do something right.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's a huge. I don't know. I think it really depends on every streamer of what is something to change about Twitch. Some people think there isn't really much to change. It's not their platform to change. You know, it's not their goal is not to own Twitch or have some position in that. But it's always a good idea to make something easier for streamers. We want it to be a seamless experience, especially for viewers. Would you change anything in your past? I know you're still young, but
would I change everything in my past? Yes, I would teach myself how to be very confident. Also really good with my money too, because I'm a numbers person. So when I found out how much money I spent on food, I'm like, oh my God, I should have more money than what I do now. But yes, financial and personality.
I should be rich now.
Yeah.
How would you explain your sense of humor?
Very edgy. I would say edgy humor, but also with some wholesome moments on the side. So I do a lot of roasting. I do a lot of making fun of, in a good way. I'm not like actually like making fun of people in a very brutal way. So like edgy wholesome.
Edgy wholesome, like just a sprinkle. Okay.
Yes.
What have you learned most during? No, let me rephrase. What have you learned all these years DoorDashing?
All these years DoorDashing that I could have been making a lot of money from DoorDash than I would at a grocery store if I would have started earlier, especially if I did it during the pandemic. But also at the same time, I could have had a lot more free time back then for YouTube and Twitch.
Yeah. What are you most grateful for?
I'm grateful that I'm also still continuing on creating content. I did not give up, despite the fact that everything I went through outside of YouTube and Twitch and what my viewers have seen. So they now see that the fact that you're still doing this, even though you should have quit like a long time ago, is actually like inspirational.
What do you like doing in your spare time the most?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, I'm a gamer, so I've been playing a lot of Dead by Daylight lately as a killer, so I'm very addicted to that. I would say hang out with friends, but all my friends have kind of matured and they're now spread apart. Like one of my friends is now in California with his degree. Another one moved from the city to another city because of situations. Another one lives in another state. Another one lives in another city. So I don't really have any IRL friends. So I kind of just DoorDash kind of like is making money is kind of like my entertainment now. I don't really do anything else.
Would you like to do something else?
I would love to do something else other than DoorDash. Like at least like explore and travel and do other stuff, but I don't have funds.
Okay. What's your biggest pet peeve?
My biggest pet peeve? There's nothing really that really annoys me. I guess if someone becomes political towards me, and I'm not really a political person. You would think that I would be because we're in America is going crazy right now. But at the end of the day, everything is corrupt. Companies, governments, everything like that, all corrupt. You just have to learn how to live in a corrupted world to be the better person, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Hopefully, where do you see yourself in like 5, 6, 7, 10 years?
Hopefully moved out. Hopefully I can move out, actually be independent, still doing content creation. Hopefully I can get back into YouTube and making videos because I loved editing and perfecting videos and all that. Maybe casual streaming here and there, but at least like to be fully independent in 5 years.
Fully independent. Manifesting that for you, yes, fully independent. Of all the things that you do now, so streaming, content creation, DoorDashing, gaming, whatever it is you do, which one makes your heart beat the fastest?
My heart beat the fastest. Man, that's actually a good question. Because, I mean, like, what type of heart beating are we talking about?
Something that excites you, that really you're enthusiastic about, it inspires you. It gets the blood pumping.
I guess when I got back into gaming, because there was a long time to where like I did not game for like years, but I did gaming content, but like never like did casual gaming. And I guess that made me much more excited because like with Dead by Daylight playing as a killer, I felt more happy and much more excited because I am doing something that doesn't relate to entertaining or making money or just anything like that. I'm playing a game because I can. Like I guess so gaming.
Specifically the killer in DVD, okay.
Yeah, so like the fact that I'm actually playing something.
Okay.
And not doing anything else.
Were there any favorite subjects you had at school?
I was always a math person, so numbers guy.
Numbers.
That's why I'm now getting a lot more better in financial stuff in terms of growth, how far I'm going. And that's why when I calculated like how much money I made back then and how much money I should have now, it's a rude awakening. So I think being a numbers person should be really like a skill that a lot of people should have, but I understand not a lot of people love numbers or equations and shit like that.
Yeah, numbers, yeah. 1 + 1 is 3, yeah. What's your favorite animal?
So I always get confused by this because I would always say flamingos. So
Flamingos.
I don't know what's the thing about the flamingo that I love, but it's just such a unique animal that I genuinely just love the animal.
Is it the pinkness? Is it the long legs?
I don't know.
The fluffiness?
Because like when I tell people that, like they question my sexuality. I'm like, why does that question my sexuality? It's just an animal.
It's true. It is just an animal.
But it is a very flamboyant animal. I will say that.
No,
I don't know. They just look interesting.
Okay. What? Wait, you said you can't cook, right?
I can't what?
You can't cook.
I can't cook at all.
Not even.
I could probably use the microwave and the air fryer, but that's it.
So if you could cook, what would you make?
If I could cook, I mean, one, I can do meal prepping, but I guess if I wanted to cook anything I want to, I would actually make myself some pasta dishes, like some chicken parmesan, some spaghetti and meatballs, some chicken alfredo, shrimp alfredo, since I love shrimp. We live in the South, Texas, you know. So,
shrimp.
so get pasta dishes.
Pasta, okay. What was it like growing up in Texas?
I mean, it's just a state that I live in. I mean, some people say it's like not a good state to live in. Honestly, I don't. I've lived here the majority of my life. I have never lived in another state or even been to another state. So I mean, I've been to Louisiana and New Mexico, but I went to New Mexico when I was like maybe like 7, and Louisiana just so to make I can meet my other friends. So I don't know what other living areas are like in the state, but like Texas is fine. I heard it's cheap, the cheapest state than other states that are
Oh,
around.
okay.
So yeah, statistically, apparently Texas is really cheap to live in compared to like other popular states. So I guess that's a good fact in there. But even when with my money situation, it's still a little expensive on my point. So that also what people would tell me is like, what if I worked in another state and then brought that money to back to this state and I was able to afford anything? So
Yeah. That seems hard to do. If you could travel to anywhere in the world, what would be your top destination?
I actually would love to explore Japan,
Okay.
just because for the sole reason that like it just seems like a interesting nerdy paradise. Because for a lot of people in the anime culture, they would seem excited. Ironically, I'm not huge on anime. So for a lot of people that see me as like a huge nerd, they would think that I would love anime on the side, but I'm actually not big into anime. I'm more
Mm.
into the DC Marvel side, but I would love to see like the culture and how everything is like looking in there. And plus, I just love big fancy lights. So like I would think that like it would be a cool place to like look around in.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
Mhm.
I spent a year living there, so
Really?
if you ever go to Japan, let me know and I'll come with you.
All right.
Um, what is it about comics that interests you so much?
So I've always have been like I guess a nerd, so I guess you could say I grew up with the Cartoon Network golden era because I watched the original Justice League, I watched the Spectacular Spider-Man, I've watched all sorts of type of comics. So once I started playing like the Batman Arkham games, I became so obsessed with Batman because of his interesting lore and all the heroes and everything that has to deal with the Batman universe. So I guess you could say I became a fan of Batman, and then all the live action movies like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man or the Christian Bale Batman. Like everything about comics just makes me feel like so happy because I want the universes to like mingle. Maybe not DC and Marvel, but at least like the DC movies on their side and then the Marvels on my side, and I can let my fantasy world like kind of mingle into that fantasy world.
Hmm.
So like, and also like just a lot of the heroes' background stories is just very interesting. So you have like Daredevil that he can't see. You have Spider-Man that is literally an adolescent with superpowers. You have Bruce Wayne Batman that literally lost his family, and then Superman lost a whole entire planet that can't even see his family, but goes to Earth as a baby to have powers. It's like you are so invested into these characters that like you want to see more of them. And I guess I just love the actual lore and culture surrounding comics. And that's what actually excites me to for like the MCU or the DCEU, despite the fact that the DCEU is like tanking right now. But I
Mm.
love the fact that it's live action. There are actors playing these heroes.
I
So
think,
it just checks everything.
yeah, it checks everything. That's great. I think a very important question to ask you is DC or Marvel, if you had to
Oh god
choose.
damn. A lot of people would get mad for this because I would always give this answer. Marvel for the characters, because Marvel has such a fantastic character lineup. But DC has such an amazing storyline that not a lot of people like dark stories, but
Mm.
I've always been like a dark individual, and I love villains too. So I've always loved and respect the storylines that DC can provide. I just wish they can do that for their movies. It's quite upsetting whenever like they can't do that. So I guess I'm just gonna say DC Comics.
DC Comics. Okay. Okay. Because some people say DC villains, Marvel heroes. That's
Hmm.
the dichotomy I
Yep.
usually hear. It's like, okay, agreeable. I do agree. I loved watching what's it called? What's the Batman series called on
The Batman animated series or the Batman
the live action one?
or
Oh, I forgot what it's called now.
Gotham.
Gotham. Yes, I like the Gotham actually.
Gotham was pretty good. I think it was a little bit underrated. I will say there's one season that was really weird. Like, do you remember that season that had Penguin falling in love with the Riddler?
Yeah, that was weird.
That one was where did that come from?
Yeah.
That one was
There
weird.
were some questionable things.
But overall, like at least the Joker actor, or who was supposed to be the Joker, did a phenomenal job as the
Mm.
Joker up
Hmm.
and coming. I think he did a really good job there.
What has been your lowest moment in your life?
My lowest moment, it would have to have been my second to last relationship. So this would have been during the time where like I was learning the dating process of what it means to have a significant other. So there was a girl that I used to work with at my job that was very supportive of just me in general. And I never understood that because I was dating someone at the time that didn't show me any appreciation. So eventually we both broke up and I found out that this girl actually liked me. So I decided to go for her because she had the correct personality, she had the correct values. I was able to get along with her no matter what. And I guess that's what any relationship, if you can feel comfortable with your significant other, that is definitely the one instead of someone that you never keep secrets from, you never like feel uncomfortable whenever she arrives. That was the ideal. And for a lot of people, they do not agree that should be my most successful relationship of all time. But it lasted for 2 weeks.
Hmm.
And you could be questioning yourself, like, why do you consider this your best relationship? And I always would say, because it's the most, I've never been so happy in my entire life. And after we broke up, just out of the norm, I just felt so confused. I'm just like, how did this even happen? But like, she still had feelings for another person, and there was at one point in time where like, it was a decision making. Like either you choose me or you choose the other guy. Well, she chose the other guy, and he ended up actually not treating her very well. And I would always replay this moment in my head. It's like, what if she picked me? What if she picked me? Like, what would have been the outcome? And then throughout the time where like she actually like dated like other guys, because I guess like she didn't really like understand like actually the worth of being like alone, but she was always with some other guy and they never treated her very well. So eventually I just kept getting so confused. It's like, was there ever a time in her head that she would ever like get back with me? And there never was. And to this day, I haven't talked to her in like months. So I took that as a sign, and she never even wished me happy birthday because usually she does. She always would do that. So this year I decided to ignore everything at that past. And then previously back, I had another relationship after her, which I thought was going to be as good as her. So throughout that whole entire situation, I was just thinking and just like, is there a problem with me? Do I am I doing everything correctly in terms of the dating world? Am I messing up with certain stuff? I kept questioning. I'm putting a lot of images in my head, and then I just came to the realization that like you just can't worry about that. You just can't worry about another person, even though right now the best person has someone else now, and she seems very happy with this guy, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna move on from all that, even though like I still use her as a guideline to who should I be figuring out as what type of person I'm looking for. And this happened like 3 years ago, and I'm still talking about it. So I'm
Hmm.
wondering, did I truly actually enjoy this one person, or do you actually believe that her personality is someone that you should be looking for? So it always plays in my head and lingers in my head. And I've yet to date anybody. I haven't been on a date in probably like almost a good year,
Hmm.
a year now. I haven't really matched up with anyone because I frequent dating platforms. So I've always have struggled with dating. Like people say, like I joke around with dating. No, I actually do struggle with dating. I really do struggle with dating, with getting the conversation started, seeing if the person is interested. I'm not good with social skills. There's actually a huge reason, but I don't want to say that publicly. But I really do struggle with interaction and showing appreciation to another person. And it got really bad during that moment between the second to last relationship to the relationship I had previously, to the point where now that person officially hates me because of other stuff that happened during that. So I guess that would be the only lowest part I think I can think of or remember, which would have been my dating life.
Okay. Take a sip, yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm calm.
Yeah. No, thank you for sharing that. I think it's difficult for some people to open up about somewhere where they lack or somewhere where they think they're not doing very well.
And the funny thing about my last relationship is the person I dated previously before her helped me with the breakup of that relationship. Because like it wasn't like a normal breakup. This was like she thought I used her when I was confused the whole entire time, and it led to her to like going on Snapchat and saying like I hope you die alone. I hope the next person that comes after you treats you like shit. And I told this to my last ex, and she told me, it's like, you were basically manipulated. She wants to make you feel terrible because you lost her, when in reality, you were confused the whole entire time, and that's okay. So the fact that that last relationship before her, she still helped me with that relationship, makes me always wonder, has it ever crossed her mind that it was she still somewhat interested, and maybe that's why she doesn't talk to me anymore? You know what I'm saying? Like,
He's still holding on.
but I'm not going to hold on for that long. She's gone.
Yeah.
She's gone.
Fair. That's fair. I think you need to find your own happiness, right?
And I did after I left my last relationship, because at the time I was dating her, I was working at the job, and I was not doing much social media. So the relationship was gone. I'm going to admit this. It's sad to say. I said, okay, she's gone. What's next? And you're not supposed to be saying that. You are not supposed to say that after a breakup or a relationship problem. So I said, what's next? I applied to DoorDash. I started doing DoorDash orders. I made a lot more money so that I can leave my old job at Kroger, and I got back into social media. And now look where we're at. I'm talking to other content creators. I'm really good friends with a music artist. I am now making content that I want to make. I have a lot more free time than what I want to do. And I'm better. I felt much more happier now than what I did back then. And I think that's what the key point that I need to understand. Like, you were not happy back then, like back during the pandemic. And it had nothing to do with the pandemic too. Like, I didn't get depressed during the pandemic. I got depressed because what I want to do, I'm not doing it. And now I am.
Yeah. I think it might sound harsh to the phrasing might sound harsh, but I think you chose yourself in that moment. When you asked when you said to yourself, "What's next?" It's you choosing yourself. So I think that's
because I'm now starting to realize just like it's not about caring for other people. Like, you need to start thinking for yourself at that point. Like, I dedicated my whole entire adolescent to finding a girlfriend, because I thought that's what I need, a support group. When in reality, you cannot dedicate a partner to a support group. That's not what she's there for. It's a teamwork effort. You both appreciate and love each other because you do. And if you need help from the significant other, they are there to catch you at that point. That's the whole point of a relationship. I didn't see it as that. I didn't. And that's when I also realized is that I need to focus on myself until I can give my happiness to another person.
Right. Until that happiness overflows. Okay, great. Again, thank you, Kabal, for the one-to-one. Thank you for being honest and opening up and getting out all the dirty secrets.
I
Well,
have to. I don't want to keep anything. I don't want to keep anything in me because I think you need to bring it out
yeah.
in order for you to accept that it's happened.
Thank you, Kabal.
Thank you.
For your time. Thank you for being on the series, for being so open, and for your experience. Again, thank you for watching episode 5 of Under the Mango Tree with Kabal. Please go and check out Kabal on YouTube and Twitch. And I hope you've had a good time. GG's. Bye bye.